Namaskaram. Namaskaram. I must thank Meghna and Sridhar for inviting me for this 78th Independence Day celebration. I know Meghna for last 2 years. We were there for 2 conferences together, one in Hyderabad and one in Goa. When the invitation came, I thought I should make it because it's an opportunity for me to talk to teachers, parents and students. Generally, I don't enjoy any of the celebrations because I'm basically an academic man. I like to go to a classroom and teach, make children to learn, than going for celebrations. But I know one of the methods to reach out to the schools probably is that I had come to this apartment and had my lunch one day because one of my most brilliant student who is in US belongs to this apartment. So I was told that the school is close to that, so I thought I will get an opportunity to come here, and I was chatting while I was on the road today. And I was asked to speak on a topic which is called freedom and education. But generally, India is probably one of the best country where we generate students of great caliber. Today I was talking to my most best brilliant student who is heading a team of scientists, engineers in America, and she was telling her observation that most of the best CFOs, financial officers, CEOs of the best companies in US, they're all Indians. Basically because we are very strong in our mathematics. My subject happened to be mathematics. But I believe we lack quite a lot of things in education. That is why the national government, central government, union government, we use different terminologies, decided to go for a revamp on the education which is called a new education policy. Unfortunately, it's not going to get implemented. Unfortunately, there is nothing new in the new education policy. People keep talking about 21st century education, but I am against it. Because education is not for 100 years. Education should not be talked on 100 years terminologies. It should be very short term dimension. Today I heard morning listening to Prime Minister, he is aiming for the country to be a developed country on 2047, 100 years. But I am sure we have gone for a lot of changes. That means we are looking at what will happen in the 5th decade of 21st century, and we are in the 3rd decade of 21st century. So I have written nearly 30-40 books in the last COVID time, because every day I keep traveling like this after my retirement from Government of India. I was with the Prime Minister's office with Manmohan Singh. In 2009 I took my retirement. For last 15 years I must have gone to thousands of schools, spoke to more than millions of teachers, parents and students. My name itself is TPS, teachers, parents and students. So what do I tell them? It is not to make your children fit for the next century not for the next generation, but it's essential to look for the next 6 years, where are they going to be? I'm the Chancellor for the National Education Forum, which is running from Calcutta, and we conduct every week a brainstorming programs on different academic activities. I've got less people who are known to be in Hyderabad, but I am more known, and then my activity goes in Calcutta, maybe different parts of the country other than Hyderabad. Because Hyderabad just focuses on certificates, how to get them real followers of Mahatma Gandhi. You know, once Mahatma Gandhi said quit India. So every aspirants of children who wanted to go to different engineering colleges, you ask them what you want to do, they'll say I want to quit India. And all of them go to America. So Hyderabad is a place where we prepare children for exporting to different countries. That's what is happening. I remember a few years back I had a program in which I said Hyderabad made a lot of difference in the education system, which is run by two institutions, which is called Chaitanya and Narayana. And joined together I call them as China disease, Chaitanya Narayana disease. And before COVID, Hyderabad got the China disease. Because we prepare them. My students also, my kids also joined in the same. All my better students were all joined in that. But that's a beautiful system in which you make children to pass for exams. But the value system, the culture of India, the humanity subjects, which needs to get nurtured, that doesn't happen. During yesterday's discussion, one of the principals of one school was asking, yeah, you are talking about culture, lot of entertainment, lot of other activities. Now what will happen to the syllabus? So I asked them which class, which grade syllabus you are talking. And the teacher was mentioning it is for the UKG classrooms. Imagine in the UKG classroom, the students are worried about the syllabus. Why is it so? The reason is basically because we keep mentioning my nursery, LKG, UKG, grade 1, grade 2 up to grade 7 or grade 8. They follow what is called the CBSE syllabus. But I doubt whether the CBSE, the Central Board of Secondary Education, which is called the secondary education, that it means it is only after the 9th grade. But up to the 9th grade, we don't follow a syllabus. But we still call we are under the CBSE syllabus. We are actually fooling the public, we are actually fooling the children, we are actually fooling the whole world by saying this. And we have given licenses for people to do that. So unless and until we keep understanding what we are doing, where are we going, are we really serious about what we are talking, like what is education, needs to get into a real introspection. Education up to 7th class is only to know me, world around me, and my family, my neighborhood, my environment. That means understand the society. That is not for a life-giving education. It is to understand what life is. But we have lost that focus. Unfortunately, we lost that focus. So what is essentially required for a revamp in the education is to make children, make students, make parents, make teachers to realize the objective and scope of education. But unfortunately, that's not happening. We believe as parents that we have got a right on our children, and we fold them and mold them to the direction in which I want them to go. Yesterday, one of the teachers who was teaching the primary school was talking to me, because this is the time when people get into admissions for BTech, and after 12th, which subject is to be taken is being discussed with me, and every day I post nearly 30-40 videos on this subject. I am rich in YouTube. Many people keep calling. Today I had more than 100 calls by now. And one of the parents was asking, my son who passed BTech 4 years back, working in a company, now what he should study further? Imagine a 26-year-old son need to be directed by a mother who is a primary class teacher. This is pathetic because the teachers are probably the people who have to train the minds of the country, that trains the minds of the country, but they are failing to do so. That's what happens in most of the places. That is because we want them to accept what we say instead of logically asking, why should I do this? We don't give freedom. It's very, very less in the schools. No creative student can be excellent in the schools. I was a failure. I was thrown out of an 8th grade. Not different from those school teachers whom I see most of those schools. And I was probably one of the worst student, unfit for that academic institution. But I have been called as a chief guest for a program in the same school after a few years, when I was excelling in my career as a scientist in the Department of Space, ISRO. And I told them I was thrown out from the same school being the worst student. I am a worst student in a school because there was curtailing of the freedom, and I believe that no creative minds can have restrictions in their life. And a restricted mind cannot be creative. We have a God and goddesses. The God Brahma for the creativity, and his wife happened to be the goddess Saraswati for the knowledge and the education. And that combination is made to say that a creative mind with a lot of freedom, only education can go. It is hard, it is tough for people to realize. What I do is, you have to understand India, you have to understand the makers of India. So I wrote a book called The Makers of India. Because when I have students who aspire for civil service, who come to my house in Malkajgiri, we have a beautiful library, a lot of children used to come and sit, prepare for their civil service. And during the time I asked a lot of questions. Whom do you know? Who are the Indians who created? No, I am a technical person, I know only technology. Then tell me who are the 5 great physics people in India? No, they don't know those, but they know physics. We practically don't make children to realize India had a traditional knowledge in different subjects. India had a great person who thought about how education should run, the Swami Vivekananda, who spoke about education is a man-making process, but we failed to realize it. Today we found that lot of different groups of people under the name of the Panchabhutas. The last program which we had in Goa on the GSLC program was the Panchabhuta concept of education. And what I did was, immediately I wrote a book on Panchabhuta and education. But the last portion which is given as the 6th element was the self. And we all want a self-realization. Ultimately in the Maslow's pyramid, not the physical, not the emotional, not the intellectual, not the social, it is the spiritual element which gives a spiritual awakening, a self-realization that comes only when you have got the freedom to think. But that doesn't happen by most of our education systems. So I have decided to create my own system of education on which I am into different parts of the country. West Bengal is one of the people who accepted. Last month I was there in Sri Lanka and talking to an educational hub, and one of the rich men came and told me all my books, nearly 30 of them, he is ready to translate into the language Sinhala, and the work is happening. But I said, don't make one person to translate, Google can do it, but don't do that. Give me 52 teachers who are in the primary education, where probably when they read thoroughly my book on 4 volumes, A to Z of grandma child care education. And what we did is, those people who are translating, I am going to see that they implement it in the classroom. We are conducting workshop for making it happen in Sri Lanka. We don't give a thought process in each of the words which we do in our classrooms, because we have been following a stupid syllabus, including schools where I have seen. I have not seen a management who has got the courage to rediscover the syllabus what we are doing. We see most of the time being introduced to use the word madam and sir. Britishers themselves stopped using it. If you use it in America, you will be thrown out of your office. I was asking in Sinhala language in Sri Lanka, what is the substitute instead of calling somebody sir? And the answer was Mahatma. What a great word. Just by calling Mahatma, Karamchand Gandhi became Mahatma, called by Gurudev Tagore. But still we call all the stupid people on the road also sir, and the chief officer also sir, and every teacher is also sir. I don't know when we are going to have the freedom, the real freedom of addressing somebody with a native language. I am a spiritual man, must have gone to thousands of temples to give lectures. Not a religious talk. I have lot of people who are from Pakistan interviewing me to learn what a scientist in India does. Pakistan Dr. TPS. Type and look at Google. You will see a 7th class child asking brilliant questions. I challenge. I can't see a single student in Hyderabad who have got that caliber to ask such questions. Unless your child has got that ability to communicate, ask questions, quest for knowledge. I told most of my interviews when I get interviewed in Pakistan, when the child interviews, the mother wants to interview me. And she comes and asks, I can only speak Urdu and Hindi, will you be? I said, I will give you 2 more days, prepare in English. And the mother comes back after 2 days to interview me. I have not seen a parent like that in India. That is why Pakistan is more happier than India today. The freedom is there. I am sure the thought process has got freedom. Probably the culture is different, religion is different, but they have a great aspiration to grow. India has lost aspirations to grow. We are behind the certificates. I have not seen principals' rooms, I have not seen chairman's rooms in the schools decorated with books. I have seen only mementos and certificates. So what is your message to your children? These are more important than knowledge. What are we doing? Where are we going? I am sure I don't get any other opportunity to speak to you. And because you don't refer to YouTube, you don't refer to Dr. TPS, what he speaks. So I don't miss an opportunity to get into people. And at least one person after this program communicates to me, respond to me. I feel this program is success for me. But hardly we see. Hardly we see. When I send a message, I don't see a single line written back. Instead of that, thumbs up is given. that means you don't know how to write a sentence of appreciation. Yesterday, one of the teacher was asking me a question. I gave the answer for 10 minutes. Immediately, the second question comes. I asked the teacher, do you know how to appreciate with a word the effort of me giving an answer for 10 minutes? No, teachers have never learned how to appreciate the children. I keep telling all the teachers are the servants of the students, because it is the teacher's salary paid by the students' contribution. So unless a teacher realizes that it is me to serve the children with that bhavana, with that sankalpa, if you don't become a teacher in the classroom, why did I make the subject of my concept of grandma child care shiksha Gurukulam? Grandma, type grandma Dr. TPS, you will see my concept of education. I don't allow a KG teacher to stand in the class. You can imagine a 1 feet seat on which a 1 feet child sits and the teacher stands. Which part of the body of the teacher the child is seeing throughout the day? No grandmother stands in front of the children. The grandmother sits, children roams around them. This is Dr. TPS concept. I am not talking blah blah. I go to different schools, see that it is implemented, make the teachers to learn the concept, allow the children to ask questions and make sound. We are talking about freedom and education. That's the topic given. Let me ask, is there any nursery, LKG, UKG, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 student, teachers who don't use the word keep quiet in the classroom? What are you shouting? A teacher shouts and the children have to listen, and the model is a shouting teacher. And what are they shouting? Keep quiet. Give me 300 children. I'll make them to keep quiet without even shouting once. I am a meditation master from Himalayas. My guru has taught only one word, that is silence. I am a master of silence. How do you make this? That is the creativity the teacher should have. That is the freedom the teacher should have. We have been putting, always people will ask, how to finish syllabus? I think you finish syllabus, you finish the creativity of the children. Let them learn as they are. Next week, this week 18th, I am traveling to Goa 5 days in a school. After the Goa conference, there were 300 teachers. I have seen only none. One sister from Christian missionary came back to me and said, what you said on the stage, I want to see that it is implemented in my school. Come and stay with me for 5 days. And 5 days I am there. 62 children. Before meeting them, I started a WhatsApp group. Luckily, Indian Express 4 years back wrote a full-page article on me, and the title given was WhatsApp group. I keep saying Mata, Pita, Guru, no. Google Devam. Guru's relevance are gone, because every answer is available in ChatGPT, and you can do it. Why do you need teachers to give blah 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 knowledge? What is that the teacher has to give is the ability to search for knowledge. Therefore, teachers are called the producers. The teachers are supposed to be a person who directs children to different realm of the knowledge in the world. If that happens, that will be the greatest gift somebody can give. And I am sure the name of the school given as the Fountain Head. Fountain is, I don't know, people when the city, when they think about fountain, it is only the garden fountain. But for me, from a village where electricity came when I was doing my master's, telephone came when I was doing my PhD, for us fountain is from the top of the mountain, the water flows. And Bhumi Devi, the earth is considered as the mother goddess, and the mountains are considered to be the breast of the mother, from where the milk comes, and that milk which gives the energy to grow for every life under this earth, around this earth. That is called the real fountain. So the mountain head is the fountain head is the mountain head, and I am sure a beautiful name, the fountain head, which is supposed to give the nectar, the real essence of knowledge, which gives the freedom, the oxygen of the soul. The body needs oxygen, but the soul needs the freedom, which is the oxygen. Probably if that can be given, that will become the best passport for every child for the future. Education is the passport, but for education you need a lot of freedom. Let us have the ability to create a society which asks for knowledge. The ultimate power is knowledge. And if that can be got, we are different from animals. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunani samani chaitani nanam pashunam nanam naranam adhiko vishesho nane bihina pashvi samana. If you don't have knowledge, you are equivalent to an animal. The food, aharam, nidra, sleep, bhayam, the worries and tensions, all these are animal nature, and that most of the people have. What we don't have is the quest for knowledge. I'm sure the next generation, no, I don't call the next generation, the third decade of 21st century, the 3-2-1 world children who are high aspirants of knowledge, if that can be created by the mountain head, the nectar of knowledge which flows from, and that river can make people to take a real dip in the knowledge. And if this small spark of message which I give can give a real freedom to at least a few of the thought process, not in the physical sense. The fivefold physical, emotional, intellectual, social and spiritual development happens to the children, and that will be the most virtuous, most courageous, most wiser, most important thing what a teacher can do. I wish the best of the best success. Thank you so much. Inshallah, God bless you. ഈശ്വരാനുഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടാവട്ടെ. എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും എവിടെയെങ്കിലും വെച്ച് if you could see each other at some point of time, I am sure if you can communicate, I will be the greatest person who will admire you with a great gratitude. Contact me, look at my Dr. TPS 95020388875, or today's video can be seen by 2024 08 August 1515. Go to good YouTube and then search. I'm sure many of the bright children, many of the great personalities of the school are not present here. All of them have. This is why I don't attend any of the celebration programs. But I thought I should not miss a chance of getting closer to some schools in Hyderabad, because I get rarely the chance. Right? Thank you so much for inviting me and then making me part of this celebration. God bless you. Thank you.